Hi, everybody.
You've done a wonderful job in creating exposure and success through PR and your relationships that you've created. So that's what we're going to talk about. Before we start, though, a social media clip from you where you're educating. Can we roll Yawar's video?
Hi everybody, welcome to my latest Ask Yawar video series on something important, what a seller needs to do to get their property ready for sale. Now, I'm going to kind of keep it to smaller places, smaller houses or condos, where you don't have to do a major reno in order to put it on the market, because why would you do that? So I'm going to talk about basic things that every seller needs to do. The first thing is, you want to treat your house like it's Switzerland.
Is it funny to watch?
Neutral. And what do I mean by that? That means someone can walk in your house and envision their stuff, their life, their friends, their family in your house. So how do you create a neutral environment for a buyer to walk into? Good question. Let me tell you. Something that you can do, first of all, is depersonalize the house. I love wedding photos. I love that, there's photos of friends, families, dogs, etc. all over the house. However, when you're looking to sell a house, all of that needs to go. Take your butt down to Home Goods, get some tchotchkes that look really nice, that are very nondescript, that are neutral, and put them in place of those photos, of those personal items that you had out and about. Because when someone walks into the house, they want to envision their memories, their life, and not be so taken aback by your memories that they miss your beautiful house. I'm going to talk about more little things that you can do in part 2 of my video series. Thanks, guys.
All right, nice work.
Thank you very much.
Yes, I think one of the things, do you feel like you know Yawar after that? That's so authentic on camera.
I appreciate that. And if you know me, you know I have shiny forehead problems. So if you can recommend anything, please follow me on Insta, send me anything that you can think of. I would appreciate it.
So I have the same issue. I'll share tips.
I would love it. I would love it.
Yes. All right, well tell me, let's take a seat real fast. What I'd love to hear is really, because now you were crushing it with the PR and the exposure there, but how did you start? What was your earliest experience, and what impact did it have on your business at an early stage?
So for me, I moved to LA. I know you're all sitting down. I was an actor, so we don't have many of those here. But I came here anyway, and again, shocker, got into real estate. And so for me, I already knew that it was important for people to know who you are, know your name. And so as soon as I could afford it, I did a couple pay for play. And for those of you who don't know what that is, almost every city, almost every market has a really wonderful glossy magazine like Ocean Avenue, we have Angelino, et cetera. All of you guys have it. They do a section a couple times a year that look like editorials, but they're actually ads. And so I paid whatever the fee was. You do a photo shoot, they do a write-up, and then I sent it to everybody I could. Because if you don't know that was an ad, it looks like, wow, he got written up on this great magazine. And then, I would put out on the AP press releases about me, my background. I have a bit of an interesting background, so I thought, let me capitalize on that and see what that does. And then once we got Listing Impossible, again, because I knew, which is the TV show that we did for CNBC, I knew that the opportunity, the window would be really limited. So I found a wonderful publicist who actually is here, and I said, here are my goals for the next 10 weeks. And so we spent the money, and I made sure that I was at the opening of an envelope, getting photos taken, making sure that the press was out there as much as possible, because I knew that I wanted the visibility. The second thing I wanted is to be that guy that journalists could call to be a market leader. So I wanted to be in Forbes, Wall Street Journal. I wanted to have those blurbs. And all of us can do those things. So I set that up as a goal for myself. And so what's great now is that I get various journalists from various financial magazines to say, hey, we really like Yawar's answers. Because again, sort of what you hear now, what you saw in the video is exactly what you get. So I keep it clean, fun, sassy, because I want to keep it engaged. And then I'll take that article and I will make a visual presentation like you just saw in that video, because someone from AOL Money said, hey, what are the 5 things sellers need to do to get their house ready? Rather than sending everybody the article, which was out there and they could find, I did a video series and it really got great engagement.
So you got the attention of editors and journalists. But how did you do that, and how do you maintain the relationship? Meaning, how do you continue the flow once you've got something started?
So I think once you get a little bit of press, and for me, like I said, that was essential, that was important, and that is something that all of you can do. Now, thanks to AI and ChatGPT and everything else, you can literally say, write me a press release, put in a little bit about yourself, because each of us has an individual story, and get it out to the wire. Like, I made sure that if it was my high school newspaper, to where I went to school, to the fraternity I was in, to any local press that I could get, we tried our best to get on there. And I felt like that was important. And once you start, because having a publicist can be expensive, and depending on what market you're in, it may not be necessary. So it really requires you to go, I like that article that person wrote on CNN Money. Let me put myself out there to them, send them an email and say, I would love to be a resource for you if you ever needed someone in real estate.
Amazing. I want to go back to when you said the pay-to-play program. So those special advertising sections or the editorials that you paid for. Would you share with us what you paid? And also, was there any hesitation in doing so? I've talked with agents before that said, I don't want it to look like it's an ad. People know that it's an ad, but you had success with it.
I had success with it. I paid, I think it was like $5,000, and it was a great spread. If you were in the industry, I mean, it didn't take much to figure out, like, okay, I get offered this too. But my clients didn't know. The people I was farming to didn't know. They all got copies of this beautiful glossy magazine that looked really fancy, which it was, and you get to go to parties, and they had their red carpet, and then you get on their list. And then again, it's just about like what we're doing in this room, connecting, networking with people going, hey, if you ever need that commentary, let me know.
Let's go to social, because you're taking the PR that you receive, the articles and the news, and you're putting it on social like you already mentioned. But what is your strategy for social? Because you have a large number of followers, and you've continued growing that, and you get a huge number of large engagement from your followers as well on every single post. Over 1,000 that I can see.
Yeah.
Over 1,000 engagements on each post. What is your strategy with social?
So for social, what I like to do is, by the way, if you don't follow me, please follow at Yawar Charlie on Insta. We'll be friends. We'll refer business back and forth. But also, my social media presence reflects who I am as a person. So I'm not a fan of those real estate monster pages. I feel like we all have, what we do is we sell real estate, but there's so many other parts to our life. So what I like to do is take that PR, incorporate it with what I do on an everyday basis. So there's housing, there's romance, there's my dogs. So if you got my email, it's on my dogs. And I try to incorporate the press because I want to get into people's minds that this is the guy to call if we have questions. And it happens. I can tell you that there is great success in that. When you are maybe not in the right mind at a late night party and someone wants to talk about a 3-2-1 mortgage buy down, you've done your right job. Or if they want to, if you go anywhere and people are like, hey, how's the market? You've achieved your goal. And so that, for me, for social, I was like, okay, I like doing these things, but how can I do it, be authentic, and get clients from it without hitting somebody over the head?
It highlights you as an expert.
Yeah.
If your name is synonymous, or it's next to Forbes, or it's next to one of the other outlets there, AOL, like we saw up there, it just highlights you as an expert. So not only are more journalists going to reach out to you, but also your clients perceive you as an advisor and an expert.
Exactly. And if you are able to financially afford it and work with a publicist in your area, think about, again, getting out to as many financial blogs as possible, because I've had articles that have been picked up and then they're on 30 other sites. So now you have 30 other pieces of material to put out there, send to people. So it looks different, you can switch up how you market it. The content might be the same.
Sure. So closing, what is the number one tip that you would give to agents who want to increase their opportunity to create exposure in PR or grow it?
My biggest thing for PR is tell your story. Everyone has an individual story. Everybody is different. We all do the same thing, but we do it differently. And so, like I said, get that newswire out. If you're a brand new agent, tell me where you came from. We all came from something. If it was a different field, let's talk about it. Talk about your passion and how you got into it, and make sure as many people can see it as possible. And I guarantee that you're going to see a return somehow, some way. We have agents who sell millions and millions of dollars. Nobody knows who they are. Maybe that's their goal, and that's okay. My goal was a little bit different. I really wanted to be that industry expert, and you can do it no matter where you live.
I love that. And the other thing you said is follow Yawar. Absolutely do that. Follow each other, support each other on social media, and learn from what we're doing in different markets and the different content we're all creating.
And also, I bought special shoes for you. So they're very pretty.
Nice.
Please take a look. Give them some love.
I love it. Yawar, thank you so much, and
Thank you, guys.
congratulations on
Thank
your
you.
Gamble of greatness,
Thank you.
too. Thank you.